Hey there, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So we are continuing the Cardinal Evergreens. So he is looking pretty cute. We're going to work on some of those branches today, some of the satin stitched branches. So lots of satin stitching tonight. That'll be nice. It'll be pretty. I like satin stitching. So all right, thanks again for joining me. Let's get stitching. All right, so I still have the sample near me. I have my instructions and the piece that we're working on. So let's get right in there. Okay. All right. So where we left off, last night we finished the evergreens and the pine cones. And we also put like the little buds on the end of the evergreens. And here's what we started. We started all these other fronds, leafy bits there. We're going to continue that tonight. So that is over here. We got that color. Ooh, I have a piece left. Good. So that's the celery, that light pale green color that we got going on here. Let's use our thread conditioner again, just because it makes everything smell nice. Oh, Kimberly says, love the new hair. Oh, thanks very much. So I was looking at the places to donate again, and it really is limited. I think the one that I actually need to end up going with is one called Hair Loss for Kids. So it is for kids, and that's why I like the Pantene one. There was that Pantene place to donate hair that wasn't just for kids. It was for adults, just anyone who needs like a wig for like medical purposes. And I'm going to weave in the ends here, and we're going to just start on the satin stitch. But that program doesn't exist anymore. So that ended apparently December of 2018. So there's one other one that does hair or like wigs for anybody, not just kids. But that one you need to send a donation of like $145 with it. So I'm like, oh man, is that the only option? So there's one more that does for anybody, but you need your hair to be like 14 inches at least, and mine's not anywhere near that. It's at the like 8 to 10 inch arena. So I'm left with just the one place basically, the hair loss for kids, which whatever. It's just surprising that there's not more options out there. I think maybe COVID has affected that a little bit, but I don't know, a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, so that's probably the deal. We'll be donating to there. All right, I left a little gap there, so I'm filling it in. Wow, I'm already not doing this satin stitch very well. I think I should have started at this side and gone that way, but whatever. We're fine still. This will be good. The evergreen scented thread conditioner is nice. I didn't check with the hospitals yet, Lynn, so I might still do that. I'm not even sure who I would contact for that. Yeah, I should do that yet, though. I looked, I Googled it for Minnesota hospitals and stuff, and nothing popped up for that. But I'll have to actually call somewhere, I think. It's still sitting around here. I still have the hair, so it's not going anywhere. All right, I'm adding the little back stitches as I go. So what's nice about these back stitches is that it covers up like all the spots where these satin stitches meet. So we can kind of cover up those little ends. Oh, Kimberly says, honestly, kids probably need access to wigs more than adults. Most cancer resources centers, at least in my area, have free wigs available for adults, plus wigs from catalog companies can be had for $30 to $60. So they've also, like from what I could read, at least this is what they said on the Pantene thing, like one of the reasons that they stopped their program is that synthetic wigs have gotten super well, or are like way better quality than they used to be. So those are the preferred choice now, actually. So according to the Pantene place, so anywho, more digging. But I couldn't wait anymore with it on my head. It was time. It was either just cut it, or I'd have to like trim it up just to clean up the ends and then let it grow more, which means I would have had to let it grow for a lot longer. Oh, Kimberly says my synthetic wigs are nicer than the human hair wigs, really. Yeah, so I think that's kind of the go-to. So I don't even know how long like this hair donation thing is going to last. I mean, clearly several programs have left already, and other ones are super specific, like really long hair. So there's other places. I remember last time, you know, if like let's say that there's no need anymore. Let's just say that for a sec. There was a place when I was researching it last time that collected hair to clean up like oil spills and that sort of thing. So that's kind of interesting too, like an environmental cleanup sort of donation thing. So maybe I'll look into that for next time or something. But as long as there's some need here. You know, it's one of those things though that like, if there are, like I'm curious how many of these programs actually do still just, like, do they prefer the synthetic wigs, and are synthetic wigs actually cheaper and easier and nicer and last longer and all that, and they're just keeping the like human hair donation thing to just make like the donators feel better, or you know, some sort of silly thing like that when there's better options. I wonder if we're approaching that realm. And if that's the case, then you know, there's probably other, you know, like I said, the like environmental cleanup sort of thing. Who knows? It'd be something. I'm sure there's got to be someone's master thesis somewhere has got to be on that. It's interesting though. Interesting digging into it all a little bit more. So we'll see what comes up yet. All right. This feller is done. That didn't take too long, especially since once I get chatting, then all of a sudden stuff gets finished. So there we go. So we're going to just do that with these three other guys. That'll probably take a good amount of time tonight. So let's keep going. I think I might have enough for a little bit here. So I'm going to just kind of shimmy this across the backs of the stitches just to get to the other side. Really, I could probably stop right now. I don't have that much thread left, but it's always nice when I can get a couple extra stitches in. Maybe we'll just get like one little back stitch here. Yeah, I think I'm going to be better off starting a fresh thread. So I'm going to just weave in this end and call it a day with this thread. Oh, Kimberly says, I love the pine boughs. They look realistic. I had a really fun time stitching them. Oh, the human hair wig that you have takes a lot more fussing. See, that's so interesting. So, yeah, I wonder if it's just like, hey, we have a better option now, but like, let's keep this program still around to make donators feel good. Like, I'm wondering if that's where it's at now. If I'm sure the synthetic ones are cheaper to make and faster and all that. If they're just as nice, then, you know. There we go. Then companies should be going with that theoretically. Alright, so I'm gonna trim another 18 to 24 inches. I feel like I'm getting greedier and greedier on this. This is definitely close to the 24-inch size here. Alright, and I'm gonna separate my 3 strands from here as well. Okay. It's funny though, I haven't had short hair in a while, but in my head I always have short hair because I always had short hair growing up and stuff, so it's weird when it gets long enough to call long. But I washed it today and like in the shower, and that was just so different than what it's been in a while. Like I you know, don't have to like clip it up after I wash it and stuff like that. It's just, I can let it just be. It's just kind of nice to have it short again. Oh, I think I saw that too. Kimberly is saying, I remember seeing a documentary on how little women in foreign countries are paid for their hair, but the family needs the money. Makes human wigs seem criminal. Yeah, I think I saw a whole like mini doc on that too. Oops. Oh, let's put this. Yeah, like the human hair industry. It's pretty fascinating. So, Kimberly's saying, you realize you've pumped out too much shampoo. So, I was always pretty good, not always pretty good at shampoo, but over the pandemic, just watching more YouTubes and all that, I started watching the Brad Mondo hair stuff. I don't know if anyone's familiar with him, but he's just like watches other people's hair videos and critiques them, and he's a hairdresser and all that too. But there's something about that format that to me is just so interesting. It's just fun to watch. But I've learned just tons of hair stuff from him. So I wasn't actually using a ton of shampoo because, according to him, and this makes sense, so the shampoo isn't really to wash your hair, it's like to get the, like, de-oil basically a little bit your scalp, but you want the oil on the ends still, so like I wasn't shampooing the ends, just like, oh, you love his videos, he's such a brat. So I am that's funny. So I've been like doing his thing, so I haven't been using a ton of shampoo, just enough like for my scalp, so I get some on top and some in the bottom, and just do that. And then I've been using conditioner on the ends, since that's the part that you do want the oil to go, so I've been kind of like trying to do that system. So I'm just shampooing, like soaping up or whatever, basically my scalp, so then I actually don't need more shampoo, because he's always like, it doesn't matter how much hair you have, it's just everyone has the same size head, basically. You're just watching, trying to get in at your scalp, and then more of the oils and stuff at the bottom, the moisturizing stuff at the ends. So that's what I was doing, which seemed fine. So it wasn't, when I washed it for the first time today, it wasn't so much like, oh man, I'm using way more shampoo than I'm used to. It was accidentally using too much conditioner, and I wasn't even going to use conditioner, but like, you know, your body's on autopilot, so I just put conditioner in my hands, and I'm like, oh, what? I probably don't even need any of this. So it was the conditioner side that got me, not the shampoo side. All right, I mean, it's easier to go from the center out, but I don't know, I'm kind of like going from the out to center, just because if there's a lot of stitches in the center, then it's hard to pop up from there. So I'll just stick with going out to in. And we're gonna need more thread sooner ready. Sucks up the thread. I think this is looking nice though. Satin stitch always looks just fancy, I think. Shiny and pretty. Ooh, this would have been fun to do in like silver metallic or something. That would be kind of fun instead of this green. This whole design could be like metallic threads, and it would be really kind of pretty. All right, I think we'll get one more on the edge here. Oh, but okay, Lynn's asking, but if people use hair products, don't they need to shampoo that off? So I think, like, it's been a while since I've seen stuff on that, but it was more like the water will kind of do all that. Like, you don't need to, like, scrub all that out. Anywho, everyone's hair is different, so it's just doing what you gotta do. But I've been trying to like not wash it as much, but I don't know. I feel like my hair is so fine that just it's gonna be, you're not gonna hide like that it's super oily or anything. So I don't know. I don't know. That's one of the mysteries of the world that I'm learning just a hair more about by watching Brad Mondo. Oh, God. That's the way of it these days, I think. Oh, my God, but I could just watch those videos all day. I don't know why they're so entertaining, but I literally could just probably have those on and just chill, and that would be super relaxing. Oh, God. All right, we are almost out, so I think I'm going to be able to get these couple stitches here, but then I think this last little leaf at the bottom here, we're going to have to get new floss. So, man, that took up this whole, like, one floss for that whole bit here. We're getting there with this guy. On the home stretch, I think. Pretty. Okay, so we have our second piece all ready to go here. I'm going to... Ooh, there we go. Get the smellies on it again. Oh, Kimberly says one good thing about being bald, wigs means you never have a bad hair day. So I always think of Moira from Schitt's Creek and all her like crazy fun wigs. Oh man, it'd be fun to just play like that, I think. last little bit on this leaf. I'm going to weave in that end again, get that leaf, and then I'll have to work my way back to start these other leaves. What does that stuff do to this string? Oh, so that was some thread conditioner I was using. I'm just sort of testing it. It's 100% beeswax with some scent in. And it basically coats the floss. It kind of holds everything together, and theoretically it strengthens the floss from all the friction of having to go through the fabric a bunch of times. All that's fine and dandy. I can't prove any of that. In my head, it's just to make it smell really nice. So this is, my brother has a candle company, so he's experimenting with like making little thread conditioners like this. Oh God, it smells so amazing. So this is, this one smells like evergreens. So it's to make a scented embroidery, really, is what I'm using it for. But technically, it's a thread conditioner. It protects the threads of your floss a little bit. It's totally unnecessary, I think. I don't know. I've experimented with it a little bit. People love their thread conditioners. I do think it helps a lot when I'm hand stitching with like sewing thread. Like if I'm stitching like a binding onto a quilt or something, I think it helps the thread from curling a lot. It's kind of like you know, that like for wrapping presents, that like plasticky kind of ribbon that you can run a scissors over and it curls up. So I kind of think of that like every time your thread is going through the fabric, it's you know, having that friction on it that can affect it, and the thread conditioner kind of holds that at bay a little bit, all the twisting and stuff. But I like it because it smells yummy, and I'm stitching an evergreen embroidery, and I should be smelling evergreen. And actually, it's kind of fun. Like it is kind of like a scented embroidery. We actually want to make a scented embroidery line this next year, 2020, and it really does have like a lingering smell afterwards too. Like if you put your nose like right up to it, you can still smell the evergreen. You can tell that it's there, so it's just silly and fun. But there is a purpose. It is a thread conditioner. It does protect the thread a little bit. But who cares? I just like the smell. All right, I think, should I shimmy back down to the bottom? I think I'm just gonna cut over. I'm gonna go here a little bit down and then cut over to the backs of, to where it'll be behind some of these other stitches, and I'm gonna just start on this one right here, I think. There we go. But yeah, so if there's any, I would love to, for the scented embroidery collection, like I want to make a scented embroidery collection. Yeah, for 2022, I have to discuss all this with my brother and everything yet, but like I'd love to do like a scented embroidery collection where there's different scents and then like embroideries that go with those scents, and then like a candle of the matching scent too. So it'd be like a fun little gift set, and just like really pretty and fun and that sort of thing. So if there's any designs or scents anyone would really love for that, be sure to let me know. But it is something that I'm hoping to develop a little bit this year. Well, I mean like 2022. I always like starting in the center for these and then working one side then the other. But this evergreen is yummy. It's clearly meant to be an evergreen, but there's like a warmth, like a sweetness to it a little bit too. Ooh, like the herb flower collection. Yeah, so I think they will probably have like a lot of like herby, yummy sort of smells. I know like they have like an oceany, what is that one called? Oh my god, I need to find the names of all of them again. But yeah, like the forage one, like just like a cute little mushrooms and stuff, I think would just be such a cute embroidery and it would work perfectly with that. But like even like the apple pie one, like that would be super fun. I don't know, it's all fun, I think. Yeah, one has a lot of, they mentioned that it was more like a peony floral one. So just even like a pretty, like a beautiful like peony embroidery, like just with all those petals and stuff, with a peony thread conditioner and candle. It just would be so wonderful. Oh yes, so the floss isn't actually, so the kits would not come with scented floss. So the kits would just be like our normal kits. We would not scent the floss. It would just be the little thread conditioner like that, and then like a candle. So you wouldn't have to do that at all. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't want to be using all that scented stuff if you're super sensitive. Oop, there we go. Oh, you'd have to avoid that whole collection because of the scents. Yeah, we'd probably have the kits separate, but like, I'm thinking it'd be more of like a fun little like gift set. So you could get it for yourself sort of thing, but it'd be more of like if you wanted to gift it for like a crafty friend or something. We'll see. I still like the idea. Calorie-free apple pie scent. That sounds amazing. Ooh, I know they have one called Huckleberry Pancakes. So that's gotta be yummy. Alright, last stitch here, and then we're totally out of floss already. Ooh, Shirley says my favorite scents are peach and lavender. Ooh, I bet you those are pretty together. I love the collection in those. Ooh, yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a chit-chat soon. I feel like my brain is just trying to get through 2021, but I'm ready to like just revamp on 2022 coming up here. But man, I need the little bit of getting on top of everything time again. All right, I'm definitely out of floss. I barely have enough to thread in here. We might actually need 2 more pieces of floss to get this whole thing done. Those satin stitches eat it up. Two and 3. All right. We'll have other new collections coming out too. Oh, Kimberly's asking, who makes Huckleberry Pancakes? Sounds great. So my brother and his girlfriend who have the company, they actually pick huckleberries and then make pancakes out of them. They like cooking, and they live in the middle of nowhere. Or they basically live on a ski hill. So with, I think, well, I don't know. So they do a lot of cooking and a lot of foraging type stuff too. Like the huckleberries. I think they're kind of like blueberries, right? I don't know if we have huckleberries here. They looked a little bit like blueberries in the pictures. If you are just interested, so they have an Instagram. They're just starting up. They do a lot of they have their own line, but they also work with wineries, and they repurpose wine bottles for the wineries and make candles for the wineries to sell at their gift shops and stuff. But then they have their own candle line and stuff too. I think oh yeah, here I have it. So I have just one of their candles here. So their company is Sea to Snow. So it's like sea as in water and snow as in like snow, but it's also Seattle to Snoqualmie. So that's kind of where they're both at. But this one, I don't know what smell this is. This is just some of the extra ones that they had when they were working on it. Oh my god, this is like a beautiful, like sea, salty, soft, really yummy smelling one. But yeah, so that's their company. They do have an Instagram right now, Sea to Snow, if anyone's interested. I think they're working on a web launch. He has a candle in the Huckleberry Pancake, I think is what it's called. But yeah, so right now they're working primarily with wineries and like doing wholesale stuff with them, but they are releasing the Sea to Snow candle line soon here, and they just all smell great. I'm really excited for them. But yeah, I totally want to team up with them and do the little scented candle line, or the scented embroidery line, which isn't really the embroidery itself. It's the an embroidery plus thread conditioner plus a candle. I think that'd be fun. Okay. We're all set. One more leaf on this guy. And then we just got that guy left. So, yeah. But getting all this sand stitch done, that's pretty good for our time here tonight. That always takes a while doing all these. I like these two greens together though. This celery green, this like lighter green with the basil, which is that evergreen color. It just looks pretty together, I think. And a little bit of red. Do they have to drink the wine first? They do drink some of the wine first when they're playing with new bottle shapes, or they do go to these wineries to talk to them and stuff, and usually bring back a couple bottles. But they do typically just, for the actual candles, I think they're getting the recycled bottles from the wineries. All right, we're on the last guy here. So Amy says I've never had a Huckleberry. I've never had a Huckleberry either. They had photos of them because they foraged a bunch of them. They have like a special like tool to shush them out of the bush or whatever they're in. And I don't know, they looked a whole lot like blueberries to me. So I wonder if it's like a West Coast, like Northwest Coast way of saying blueberry, or if it is really a different thing. I'm sure it's probably a different thing. Oh, Kimberly's saying, have I ever done the thread-saving satin stitch where you don't run the thread up the back, but you go like right next to where you came out. So I know what you're talking about. That's like instead of going like around and around, like how I'm doing now, I would go up to like this side, and then I'd come out like right next to that stitch and go down. I don't do that for a few reasons. So I don't do that because, first of all, it does, like your stitches don't lay as flat. When you come out right next to your last spot, it almost makes like an arc. Because your thread's not going to bend perfectly around that stuff, so you're almost making like these arcs back and forth. So that makes the stitches not lay perfectly flat. And if you're just going right next to the last stitch, that means you only have like one or two of these fabric threads in between those stitches. And if anything pulls on that or anything, you're going to get, there's like a possibility of it just, you getting a hole. Like if it pulls out, if it tears that one tiny piece of fabric thread, then it could separate. It could like make a hole. So I don't do that. So it does use a whole lot more thread doing it this way, that's for sure. But those are the reasons why I don't go like just, like going right next to it right here like that. So I don't do it that way. Oops, come back here. Oh man, you guys, I'm still testing the sweaters. I know you probably haven't seen this one in ages. I am going through my clothes. I'm testing my clothes out, and I'm testing all my sweaters. And they're all the sweaters that I have to wear like a shirt underneath, because they're all like itchy and wool and that sort of thing. Or you don't want to wash them a ton, so you wear a shirt underneath. So I don't, like, this is the time of year, and I don't know, I'm kind of over all of them. I just kind of want to start fresh, but I'm not doing that. But I'm testing some out, and there's a couple that don't fit anymore, and I don't know. I was going to put this one in that realm, but John said he liked it still, so I'm like, okay. But I think that's going to be my weekend. I'm going to start going through all the stuff some more. That's always a job. Going through all the clothes again. Gosh, it's mid-60s there again. So by us today, gosh, today was significantly different than yesterday. So yesterday was like, 50s, and we had that like medieval fog over the ground. It was bright sunny today, but freezing and windy. It was so chilly, and I think it was because of the wind, but I think we still went for the 4 o'clock walk. Went a little earlier, so I did stick with that still, but man, I think it's been the coldest that I've been out, and I think I went out that like negative 15 degree wind chill day too, and that just didn't seem as chilly as today. There's a crisp wind. Oh man, and John's parents, their power went out, and they still don't have power. So they've been without power for like 2 days in northern Wisconsin, where it must be super duper chilly. So they're working on that up there, but like all of Wisconsin, like northern Wisconsin, we checked like the power outage map, and almost all of upper Wisconsin has power out still. So I don't know, get it together, upper Wisconsin. But so I don't know, how did everyone else fare with all the winds and stuff yesterday? It was really windy here last night, but not anywhere near like I think what Iowa had and stuff. There we go. A lot of people's garbage cans are all flipped over this morning. Of course, it had to be like garbage day, so all these wind catchers are out. All right, one more thread should do it, and I got one here still. Let's make it yummy smelling. All right. Ugh, God, this smells good. All right. Get the needle here. I think this is it for this color then too. We're at that point where we're wrapping up a bunch of different colors here. I think after we do this, we'll start on these French knots that are down here. These are all the red French knots, so they're like little red berries. So we could go over, I kind of want to do that tomorrow, like when we're fresh, like the things you might be doing wrong with your French knot. So we could have like a little French knot lesson tomorrow, and then wrap up all of these French knots. So basically the rest of this piece is French knots and then those little stars, which will go quick. So I'm thinking we do all that tomorrow. So we might call it a night a little early tonight. Then we'll start fresh with those French knots tomorrow. So we'll finish these leaves, and I think call it a little early. Oh, suggestions on using wax. Just started a few months ago and haven't tried it yet. I kind of think if you're just starting with embroidery, I wouldn't worry about all the thread conditioners and stuff, or like worry like that you need them or anything like that. I like it mostly because it smells good. It theoretically does protect the thread a little bit, and there are situations like if you're going through like a really tight fabric or something, or if you're using like a really long piece of thread that you might want to condition it. But just for these little things, I don't think it's totally necessary. It does put a little bit of a coating on the thread that you can feel. Sometimes I like using it, and sometimes I'm like, meh, I don't need it. And mostly I'm just using it because it smells nice. I do like using it, though, for hand sewing, like with a, thin sewing thread and a needle. I do like using it a lot for that. It's, I think, more meant for that than embroidery, I think. But it still works. It's coating the floss, protecting it from the friction of having to go through the fabric a zillion times. We're kind of noticing that if you put too much on, we're testing it. So if you like goop too much of it on, like really drag it through heavily, then it kind of can twist up a little bit. So I'm not liking that part of it, but if you keep it light, then it's helpful. Oh, Rockin' Robin says your pine cone looks 100 times better than mine just because I can hardly see the pattern. Oh, you can hardly see the pattern? I've been trying to keep them as dark as possible. Yeah. If you can take a photo, I'd love to see it. But yeah. Yeah, just send me an email, Robin, about that, so I remember. And see if I can help out. Does it smell enough when you only go once through? Oh yes, definitely. You can smell it immediately. It's pretty strong. Like they add a lot of scent to it. So yes, you can definitely smell it just like going once through. Oh, Sharon says, I'm glad you're okay. I saw that Minnesota had a tornado tonight. Yeah, so they had we saw that this morning too. I think, like quite a bit further south and east. Actually, I mean, we're pretty far south, Minneapolis, but like, it's still Minnesota if you drive 2 hours south still. So it was more south and east, so like almost western Wisconsin, I think. South eastern Minnesota, which, I mean, it's all just crazy. All that's just nuts at mid-December. Okay, last little back stitch on there. So I'm going to just weave in the end here quick, and I think we'll just call it an early night. And tomorrow we will focus on the... Ooh, looks like I got a funny little knot there or something. Tomorrow we'll focus on the French knots. And that'll be that. We'll finish this guy tomorrow for sure. And we're also done with this nice little pale green. Cute! Coming together. I love those satin stitches. The satin stitches are, they're called satin stitches because they create a shiny satin look, and it's because all of the stitches lay in the same direction, so the light hits all the thread at the same angle, and that kind of gives it an almost shiny appearance. And I'm stitching it with 3 strands. If I would have done this with 1 strand, which is like the real way to do it, like a very nice satin stitch is with just 1 thread instead of the 3, then every stitch lays perfectly flat next to each other, and then you really get that sheen. We did do a test of that once. We compared it, doing like 1 strand versus 3, and there was a slight difference. But yeah, fun! All right, you guys. I think that will do for tonight. I think we'll definitely finish this tomorrow. So we'll do all those the French knots. I almost said square knots. So here we go. It's cooking along there. So French knots and the little stars at the top, and then we will be done. So very happy at the progress of this, and we'll have to decide what to do with it when we're done too. Like if I leave it just as a framed piece, we could go over how to finish it in the frame, or maybe we make something else out of it. I don't know. We'll have to come up with an idea. Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, so thanks again for joining me. I hope y'all have a lovely rest of your evening, and we'll come back tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. Good night.